Welcome to another morning skate edition of the Inside Edge. Here we are at Nationwide Arena tonight where the Blue Jackets are getting set to take on the Washington Capitals. Bob McElligott alongside of Jody, Shelley. Blue Jackets come into this game having won their last 4 in a row. And Jody, quite frankly, this is a big matchup tonight. Not just trying to extend a winning streak, but trying to do it against a team that has been one of the elite teams the last few years in the NHL, one that is a division opponent, one that sits ahead of the Blue Jackets in the standings.
You know, Bob, and it is. And you look at the Blue Jackets, their last game was Monday, and here we are Friday. And you look at what's gone on in the league. You've seen the Capitals play. You've seen the Flyers, the Rangers, the Devils have all had some wins. The standings have changed a lot since Monday night. And you come into a game, you said you made a great point. Big game here tonight, division rival. The Washington Capitals aren't really playing at the top of their game right now, but they're a team that's right in there. They're a team that's expected to make the playoffs under Adam Oates, the head coach. They got, obviously, Ovechkin. They got 3 goalies out here on the ice right now. They got Neuwirth, Braden Holtby, and I'm not sure the other kid. He's from Germany. Philip Grubauer, and he expects to be in net tonight. They really have some size. That's what jumps out to me. And as you look, there's Jason Chimera there skating across the ice. Big boy, used to play in Columbus. So a lot of things here with the Caps. But yeah, you pointed out correctly. Big game here for the Blue Jackets.
I actually felt old a few minutes ago. I looked at the trade date, and Jason Chimera was traded in 2009. To the Washington Capitals. That's been 5 years ago, yeah. So I was feeling a little bit old.
Yeah, and good for Jason. He's gone in there and really made an impact with the team. He just re-upped his contract. And, yeah, you are old.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Let's talk about Alexander Ovechkin. He comes into tonight's play, leading the NHL in goals with 34. In the last 2 games, the Capitals may have lost those games, but he has had a goal in each one. And I don't just want to talk about the fact that he got a goal. His goals were outstanding in the last 2 games. From against San Jose, from way down low along the goal line, he finds room under the crossbar. There was no room there, but yet he found a way to score. Then against Pittsburgh the other night, he actually drops his stick. He picks it up. He just gets it in his hand, standing at the hash mark, and gets a puck and takes a quick one-timer. The one thing about him is, and you've seen him from the bench, you've seen him from the ice. He doesn't really crank back on that one-time shot. It's kind of a half slap at it, but it's so quick and has such velocity, it gets in the back of the net quickly.
Yeah, he doesn't need much time or space. And like you say, you drop your stick and pick it up and then have the focus and the time and the skill to put that puck where you want. I tell you what, it's not an easy thing. A lot of guys, you need to feel comfortable. You need the time and space. You need to be set. You need to think about what you're doing. But he's always thinking shot. Always. And he's very good at finding the lanes and the seams, and he's very good at hitting the net. And I tell you what, he comes awfully close to missing it, especially that one in San Jose I saw. I mean, he had an error, margin of error was under 1/8 of an inch, and he put it in there.
That's funny. You use 1/8 of an inch for number 8, the grade 8, as a matter of fact. Well, when you look at his total points, he's got 48, and he's tied for the team lead in points. And the guy that he's tied with is Nicholas Backstrom. You look at his numbers, are almost the opposite. 11 goals, 37 assists, which tells you he's setting somebody up, isn't he?
Well, do they play together?
I believe they do, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice when an all-star or a superstar in the league, if not the superstar of the league, has a guy that he can lean on and a guy that gets the way he plays. It's not easy to play with a superstar. They have tendencies. They have certain places they want the puck. They have places, things they want you to do with the puck so they can get open. They need someone to take attention away from them so they can find that little bit of time to get open. And I think that's what Nick Backstrom does, especially on the power play. You know, Ovechkin sits on the off wing. Anyone that's ever watched the power play with the Washington Capitals or seen one of his highlight reel goals, he's on the off wing, set up for a one-timer. And you can put a guy on him in the defensive zone as a penalty killer and really go with 3 guys against 4 on the other side. But if you do that, you're leaving that Nick Backstrom wide open on the bottom level, on the bottom seam, which is a major threat in this league too. So, and then you throw in a guy like Joel Ward, who scored a couple goals against the Columbus Blue Jackets here earlier on the power play. There's a dynamic with the power play that you have to stay away from, and Ovechkin is one of those guys that has a guy in Backstrom that complements him very well.
I like Joel Ward. I liked him when he played in Nashville. I like him as he plays here for the Washington Capitals. Just a good, hard work, grit, and has a scoring touch to him. Let's talk about the Blue Jackets. First and foremost, Fedor Tyutin. He's going to be a game-night decision tonight. May or may not play. He's been ill the past couple of days. If he can't go against a team like the Washington Capitals, I'm not trying to take away from Dalton Prout, who would draw into the lineup, but to lose Fedor Tyutin would be a pretty big blow against this team.
No, there's no question. He's a veteran guy. He's been here a long time. He's a guy that really quietly has done a great job this year at just doing what he does. He's added some goals, but very effective in a shutdown role. He's helped Jack Johnson a lot, I think, this year in different times. And when guys go out, it's a guy like Fedor Tyutin has always stepped up. So now with him out, you look at a guy like Dalton Prout, who sat here for a while, played his last game as forward on the right side, got sent down to Springfield. I don't know if he got a game in or not, but here he is. He's back for Tyutin. And probably pretty charged up after being sent down.
He literally got to Springfield, spent the night, and he came back up. So he is here and ready to go if he is needed tonight.
Sometimes that's all you need, Bob.
I'll tell you what, sometimes that's long enough to be in a place. It doesn't matter what the place is at times. That's enough. What about the Blue Jackets overall, the mindset, the psyche? You've got the Washington Capitals playing their third game in 4 days. You have the Blue Jackets who haven't played a game since Monday. How does that dynamic fit together?
Well, obviously there's that unknown again. I mean, you go back to having a little bit of time off. You practice as hard as you can. You work on some things. You get excited to play, but you still can't wait for that first shift. You can't wait for the first period. You want to set the tempo. You want to be hungry. You want to do everything, but you're also facing a team in Washington who's played games. They're in that game mindset. They're here today just shaking it out at pregame skate. They had yesterday off here in Columbus. They played the other night. So they have had a little time here to regroup. And now it's going to be an interesting matchup. But Columbus has to come in, keeping it simple, staying out of the penalty box, and really playing hard and jumping on this Washington Capitals team.
I don't want to take the job that's normally yours, but I would say the number one key is to stay out of the penalty box against this team. For the last time these two teams played, it was in Washington, and all the Blue Jackets talked about that before the game. They wound up in the penalty box a couple of times, and it cost them a couple of goals.
Well, this team lives and dies, I think, on the power play. That's a team that's so effective. They're so confident on the power play. There was a point this year where they were number one in the league on the power play, and they just have that dynamic, that scoring touch. That if you take a guy off the ice and give any of these guys more room, and Ovechkin and Backstrom and Ward and even Green, it's going to be a problem.
For the Blue Jackets, this is the first of two in a row. After this game tonight, they'll head up to Buffalo to take on the Sabres tomorrow night. But it's one game at a time mentality for the Blue Jackets right now. And the Washington Capitals are standing in their way tonight. Tonight's game gets underway at 7 o'clock here at Nationwide Arena. The gates will open at 6 o'clock tonight. Jody will be on the Fox Sports Ohio pregame show starting at 6:30 this evening. George Matthews is back for a 4-game stint, and he will join me on the Blue Jackets radio network tonight. That'll do it for the morning skate edition of the Inside Edge. For Jody, Shelley, I'm Bob McElligott.